My daughters are Anna, who's 28, and Lily, who's 25. From the time they were little, the differences between them were obvious. Anna always had this independent streak, she never needed me to hold her hand through every little thing. Lily, on the other hand, was fragile. I don't say that with criticism, it's just the truth. Even in kindergarten she had health problems and struggled to adapt at school. Like any mother would, I tried to give her more of myself. More of my time, my attention, my comfort, even my money. What else could I have done? Of course, Anna noticed. As a teenager, she once complained about it directly. She said it wasn't fair. She wanted to know why Lily could take her makeup without asking, or why I went out of my way to buy Lily her own products from Sephora. I always brushed it off with the same response: she's your sister, you should support her. For a while, that was enough to quiet things down. All through college, we helped both girls with tuition and living expenses. But Anna was the first one to step out on her own. She moved in with her boyfriend years ago. The two of them are smart with money, responsible, and have stable jobs. Lily, though, is still with us. She's had rocky relationships, bounced from job to job, and never quite found her footing. So when Anna announced her engagement, we were thrilled. Her fiancé, Daniel, is a good man. 6 months later, she had planned a beautiful vineyard wedding upstate. We offered to chip in about $10,000, a symbolic but meaningful contribution. She managed the rest herself. You could see her happiness in everything she did, every cake tasting, every venue visit, every phone call. Then, 2 months before the wedding, Lily asked to speak with me privately. She was trembling. She confessed she was pregnant, and that she and her boyfriend, Ryan, wanted to get married before the baby arrived so they could do things the right way. She admitted they had no money, no plan, no idea where to start. She begged me to help. My first instinct was to tell her we simply couldn't do more, we were already helping Anna, and our finances were stretched. But her words kept echoing in my head: what if we just used Anna's venue, just this once? I never came out and said it directly, but in my heart I thought, I don't want Lily's child born outside of marriage. That night, I brought it up with my husband. He looked at me like he already knew what I was going to suggest. He shook his head. No, he said firmly. That would be chaos. Then, after a pause, he added quietly, unless we asked if Anna would consider sharing the day. It's not impossible. I didn't answer him. His voice had that hesitant tone people use when they know their idea isn't good, but can't stop themselves from saying it out loud. I went to bed restless, but I couldn't sleep. All night I thought about Lily, the baby, and how Anna already had everything lined up perfectly. Maybe, just for this one time, Anna could loosen her grip a little. We weren't asking her to cancel or postpone. We just wanted her to make room. Isn't that what siblings do? So I put together a family brunch. I made fresh fruit salad, poured mimosas, and baked Anna's favorite quiche. Even Lily tried her best to look presentable, though her nerves showed. Anna arrived glowing with her usual excitement. She couldn't stop gushing about the dress fitting, the cake design, the vineyard. Her phone was full of photos. I eventually cut her off, reached across the table, and told her I had something important to share. I announced Lily's pregnancy. There was a brief pause before Anna broke into a smile. She congratulated her sister, hugged her, and told her she'd be there if she needed support. I reassured everyone everything was going to be fine. Then I added, but we have a favor to ask. Anna nodded cautiously, her expression shifting. I explained Lily's situation, her desire to marry before giving birth, her financial struggles, and asked whether she might allow her sister to use the venue for her own wedding. Anna blinked, taken aback. You want me to cancel my wedding? She asked slowly. No, I insisted. Not cancel, just let Lily marry that day, in your place. You already have your life figured out. She's just getting started, and she has a baby coming. Lily's voice trembled as she pleaded, please, Anna. Not everything is about you. Everything always works out for you. I need this. The silence that followed was suffocating. Finally Anna said softly, no. I'm sorry. She repeated it, this time with more firmness. No. It's not fair. I've spent 6 months planning this. It's my wedding. It's something I've dreamed about my whole life. I can't just hand it over. I tried to smooth things over, to remind her how grateful Lily would be, how the baby deserved a proper start, and how she, as the older sister, could understand. But Anna stood up and said she wouldn't do it. If you keep pushing, she added, I'll leave. Lily jumped in before she could go, shouting, you're so selfish. You only care about yourself. You've always had everything. Why can't you help me for once? I tried again to calm them down, reminding Anna that Lily had no other support and that we couldn't afford a second wedding. But Lily lashed out too. Dad's paying 30% of your wedding. That means I have a right to it too. Anna's face felt like she'd been slapped. Her jaw dropped. You think you're entitled to my wedding, she said, and then she stormed out with one last devastated glance. The room went still. Lily collapsed into tears. I sat there thinking, this isn't how it was supposed to go. There had to be another way, a compromise. Maybe Anna wouldn't give it up entirely, but maybe she could share. Sharing sounded fair. Sharing sounded reasonable. We weren't asking her to surrender everything, just to let her sister stand beside her on her special day. How hard could that really be? When I suggested we bring it up with Anna again, my husband gave me a look of pure warning. He told me we were already pushing too far. But every time Lily looked at me with those pleading eyes, as if her whole future depended on me, I caved. So, once again, I set the table and made lunch. When I reached out to Anna again, I told her the whole point was just to talk, to apologize, and to clear the air. We weren't going to push her into canceling her wedding. She came over, but the tight smile on her face told me she was bracing for something. We ate mostly in silence, exchanging only a few polite words. When I finally spoke, I said we were sorry, that we understood her position, and that we just wanted things to be clear between us. She nodded, accepted the apology, and that's when I slid in the new proposal. What if, I asked, you shared the wedding with your sister? Anna stared at me like she didn't understand. Share? What does that even mean? I explained, same day, same event, 2 ceremonies, hers first, Lily's second, or vice versa. It wasn't that complicated. A few scheduling adjustments, maybe some changes to the honeymoon bookings, and it could work. Are you serious, Mom? She asked, incredulous. Yes, I said, for your sister's sake. She's fragile, and your nephew is coming soon. It could be something beautiful, something that brings you closer together. That's when Anna set her silverware down hard on the table. Mom, everything is already arranged. Every minute, every vendor, every single reservation has been locked in for months. It's not as simple as you're making it. And more than that, it's my wedding. Not some group event. Before I could respond, Lily burst out of her silence. See? I told you she'd never agree. She doesn't care about anyone but herself. I tried to calm things down again, insisting it was just a suggestion, not an order. I said maybe Anna could help by tweaking a few things here and there, or even shifting the date a little to make it easier. That was the breaking point. Anna pushed back her chair, her face tight with hurt. You actually thought I would go along with this? That I'd just hand over my wedding because you asked me to? Do you even know what this means to me? What it's cost me? Lily cut her off with a scream. Everything costs you. It's always about you. You don't know what it's like to have nothing and start from scratch. Anna's eyes flicked to me then, sharp and accusing. And you, Mom, did you ever stop to think about what I want? Or do I just have to sit here and watch you choose Lily over me every single time? I can't explain what came over me. Maybe it was panic, maybe it was frustration, but before I even thought about it, my hand struck her cheek. It wasn't hard, but the silence afterward was deafening. Anna didn't cry, didn't shout. She just looked at me with this deep, hollow disappointment. I won't do it, she whispered. And if you honestly think you're still coming to my wedding after this, fine, come. But your daughter isn't welcome. She's not even invited as a guest. And then she walked out. Lily broke down in sobs. My husband just sat there in shock. I told myself Anna would cool off, that she couldn't really mean it. What kind of daughter shuts her mother out of her own wedding? Surely, she'd come around. Surely, she was just angry. I clung to that hope. I told myself she would still expect to see us there. That she secretly wanted us there. So I carried on like nothing had changed. I even had a special dress made for Lily, something elegant but understated, so she'd look presentable, even if she wasn't the bride. My husband didn't fight me on it, though he didn't support it either. When I asked what he planned to do, he only muttered, "They're not going to keep me from watching my daughter get married." On the morning of the wedding, we all dressed up. I held the invitation like it was my golden ticket, proof that we belonged. We even arrived early, ready to slip into our seats quietly. But at the vineyard gate, a security guard stopped us. "Names, please." We gave them, and he shook his head. "Sorry, you're not on the list." I laughed nervously and pulled out the invitation. "We're the bride's parents," I said. He checked his tablet, glanced back toward the venue, and then turned back to us. She was very clear. "You and your daughter are not allowed inside." My husband's face darkened. He pulled out his phone and called Anna. Minutes later, she appeared, radiant in her white gown, but her eyes were like ice. "I'm not letting you in," she said flatly. My husband sputtered. "What are you saying? You're really going to leave us standing out here?" "Yes," she replied. "You tried to ruin my day once already. I won't let it happen again. I don't want to share my wedding, and I don't want you here." "Not Mom. Not Lily." Desperate, he reminded her, "We put money into this. 30% of your budget are $10,000. Anna didn't flinch. So what? You want it back? Fine, I'll pay you back. But you're not ruining this for me. This day is mine, she added, her voice sharp. No more blackmail. No more scenes. That's when Lily snapped, shrieking, so you ruin everything. You never do anything for me. She lunged at Anna, but the guard stepped in, blocking her path. Guests turned their heads. Phones came out. I could feel the judgment rolling off the crowd like a wave. My husband grabbed us both and dragged us back toward the car. Lily was hysterical. I was shouting that Anna couldn't treat us like this, that it wasn't fair. But before the doors closed, Anna called out one last blow. And you, Mom. From this day forward, forget about the money I send every month to help with your bills. It's over. I yelled back that she couldn't do that she was selfish beyond belief. But her last words cut straight through me. Say what you want, but you brought this on yourself. And then she was gone. My husband didn't say a word, just started the car and drove us home. When we got back, he disappeared into his study, shutting the door behind him, while I sat in the dining room alone, still in my wrinkled dress, makeup smeared, and the crushing realization that my daughter had cut me out of her life. The next morning, it felt like Anna had taken a black marker and crossed me out of her world without hesitation. I woke up in my own house, but it felt unfamiliar, foreign. My husband wouldn't look at me, let alone speak. Lily stayed locked away in her room. The silence was suffocating, so heavy it might as well have been made of concrete. I had no idea what to do with myself. Out of habit, I scrolled through my phone. That's when I saw a notification from the neighborhood Facebook group. Someone had posted a link with the caption, "Did you guys see this?" The video was only 2 minutes long. I already knew what it was before I pressed play. Still, I watched. Shaky phone footage showed us arriving at the vineyard. My voice shouting. Lily lunging at Anna. Security stepping in. And Anna's cold, unshaken stare. The caption on TikTok read, "Toxic mom tries to crash daughter's wedding to force a second bride." And it had gone viral. Thousands of likes. Thousands of comments. People made reaction videos, memes, even a Reddit thread dissecting our family like we were characters on some trashy reality show. Strangers declared that Lily was a sociopath, that Anna was a queen for holding her ground, and that I was a monster. I went to check on Lily. She was curled up on the floor of her bedroom, knees to her chest, staring blankly at nothing. I sat beside her, trying to comfort her, but she didn't respond. After an hour, there was a knock at the door. It was Ryan. I let him in, thinking maybe he was there to reassure her, to tell her everything would be okay. But he wasn't. He stood in the hallway, looked at Lily, then at me, and his voice came out cold and steady. "Did you really think that would work?" Lily blinked at him in confusion. "I knew it was insane," he continued. "That's why I didn't go. I thought it was just another tantrum. But you actually did it. You tried to crash your sister's wedding. And now you're a public laughingstock." His words cut like a blade. "What kind of mother does that? What kind of fiancé?" Lily broke down, sobbing. She told him she was desperate, that she only did it for him and the baby, because she was terrified of losing him. But Ryan just shook his head. "I'll be there for the child. But not like this. I don't want to marry you. I don't want to build a family on shame and manipulation. You're not the woman I thought you were." And then he walked out. Lily didn't chase him. She didn't scream. It was as if she knew this was coming all along. Later, I found her in the shower, fully clothed, sitting on the floor as water poured down over her. She whispered something I couldn't understand. When I reached out to hug her, she shoved me away. "You ruined everything." Those 3 words sliced straight through me. I tried to defend myself, tried to explain that I only ever acted out of love, but the truth was I wasn't even sure I believed myself anymore. That evening, my husband called me into his study. He closed the door and spoke calmly, but his words were like iron. "If you interfere in Anna's life again, if you make one more move, I'm filing for divorce. And this time, it won't be a threat. It'll be final." I had no answer. I just nodded, too drained to argue, too hollow to resist. He hasn't touched me, spoken to me about the wedding, or slept in our bed since. His silence is a punishment heavier than any shouting could ever be. Now I watch Lily fading before my eyes. She hasn't bathed in days, barely eats, hardly speaks. Her face is drawn, her eyes vacant. Sometimes I hear her whispering to the baby. Other times, she just lies there, staring at the ceiling. One night, I tried again to comfort her. I brought her tea, brushed her hair back gently. She didn't even look at me. She just muttered, "Stop looking at me like that. Like you're the victim. You pushed me into this." And maybe she's right. Anna hasn't called, hasn't written. The last time I saw her, she was in that white dress, telling me to forget her, erasing me like I never existed. I miss her. I've written her 5 different emails since then, each one an attempt to explain that I didn't know how to handle things, that I acted out of love, that I only wanted to support her sister. But every draft read like an excuse, like more manipulation. I deleted them all. Meanwhile, the video is still spreading. Now there's talk of a local entertainment show covering it. Guests have been interviewed. People are calling it the botched double wedding drama. They mock me online as the toxic mom, a cartoon villain from a soap opera. And maybe that's who I really am. Maybe I've always been that person and just never saw it until the world held up a mirror. I whisper to myself now, questions no one can answer. Did I treat Anna unfairly? Did I favor Lily too much? Was I trying to protect her for her sake or just to ease my own guilt, to feel like I wasn't failing as a mother? I don't know anymore. What I do know is that I've lost everything that matters, my husband, my daughters, my reputation, even myself. And that's why I'm writing this. Not because I expect pity. Not because I think anyone will save me. But because, in the quiet wreckage of it all, I keep asking myself the same question over and over again. Am I really the villain here?